Good morning. Get set for another 90 minutes of fantastic food, and trust me, you don't want to be missing this one. This is Saturday Kitchen Live. Welcome to the show. In the kitchen today, we have the newly decorated Ching-He Huang MBE. Ching doesn't like to talk about it, so let's not flag it up anymore, apart from when it's written in front of me. And to help us celebrate Diwali with this modern take on Indian cuisine, it's Vivek Singh. Good morning, Vivek.
Happy Diwali.
Thank you very much. It's nice to see you. Ollie Smith is here, delivering the drinks. Good morning, Ol.
Morning, Matt.
You well?
Thriving, thanks. Yeah, I'm in
Good.
full force, top gear.
Good, top gear. And now our special guest today is part of the biggest selling girl group of all time, with 85 million records sold worldwide and countless #1 singles globally. So it's safe to say that she knows a thing or two about hits. She's definitely going to spice up our lives this morning. It's the fantastic Melanie C. Good morning, Mel. How are you?
I'm not too bad. I'm a little bit croaky today.
Would you like some water?
I don't know. I'd love some.
Can we get some water for Melanie C, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
Thank
Now,
you.
listen, we're going to talk all about your new album. Came out just about a month ago now?
Yeah, beginning of October it came out, yeah.
OK. Very kind of upbeat, disco kind of feel to it.
Yeah, it's a pop record, but it's quite dance influenced. Bit of disco, bit of 90s feel.
Cool.
Bit of house in there.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's kind of what we need right now.
Yeah, it's been
Life's
amazing.
pretty dull.
Yeah, you know what's been really good? Because it was more inspired by my 2019.
Right.
For it to come out in 2020, it is quite upbeat
Yeah.
and positive, and I think it's been good, yeah.
Thanks.
I think it's been good for people.
Thanks for doing that. Right, let's see what's on the menu today. Ching, you've got an interesting number.
Yeah, it's called Veggie Ants Climbing Trees. So it's a Sichuan classic. It's a street snack dish, really umami, rich, full of flavour. I'm going to show you how to sort of jazz it up, but, you know, gluten-free style. This is really, really healthy, and yeah, I hope you're going to like it.
So these are veggie ants. No ants were harmed in the
No
making
real
of this
ants,
dish.
I promise you.
Right, good.
No
good,
real
good to know. Vivek, you've got a Diwali dish for us.
Yes, so I'm bringing you a stir-fried marrow and shrimp curry, a classic Bengali Diwali feast thing. And of course, we've got to have some sweets. It's Diwali.
Interesting combination, huh?
Yes,
Are
yes.
you making marrow tasty?
Oh, yes, you will see.
Good.
We can make marrow taste.
Good, good.
Good.
Do you like the sound of those dishes?
Amazing. It's brilliant, actually. It's perfect today because Asian flavours are probably my favourite.
Right.
Of all cuisines.
You spent a long time in Malaysia, didn't you?
I did, actually. I did a season of Asia's Got Talent.
Nice.
Which was amazing, yeah.
Great place.
To really get into all, because there's so many different cultures, it's such a varied continent.
Yeah.
It was really interesting, yeah.
How did you get on with the drinks this week, Ol?
I love them, full of flavour and full of joy as well. And I found two extraordinary wines to pair. One a hidden gem from France, and the other a totally maverick blend from New Zealand.
He's very overexcited, isn't he? I've got a dish inspired by Rick Stein's travels in Alsace. I'm going to do choux gali, one of my favourite dishes. It's an Alsatian dish using pork shoulder, smoked bacon, bratwurst, sausages, loads of choux or sauerkraut potatoes. And trust me, it is delicious. Now, Mel, at the end of the show, facing food heaven, food hell.
Yes.
Talk about your food heaven.
OK, so it's so many to choose from because I do love so many different kinds of foods, but I think this time of year I love a roast. The meat I would always go to is lamb, but I love it with all the trimmings, cabbage, carrot, a little gravy, loads of mint sauce, lashings of mint sauce.
Is that kind of like a nostalgic childhood thing?
It really is. It's funny because I was talking to my dad the other day and we were talking about my nan, God rest her soul, not with us anymore, but she used to make the most amazing roast lamb dinners.
Right, nice. And what about hell?
Hell. I found this one more difficult because I do like most foods, but I can't be doing with okra.
Can't be doing with it.
No matter how it's served to me, I've even had like okra, like crisps, you can get it in a bag, you know, like some healthy kind of like snack.
Yeah.
Always slimy, always a bit hairy. Sorry, that was a bit inappropriate, wasn't it?
Don't worry, they've heard worse.
So the nation, it's up to you. And you know what? This is TV, so honestly, if you say hell, I'm cool with that because it's all entertainment, isn't it?
Right, well, if the viewers give you heaven, it's going to be a pimped up lamb roast. So I'm going to roast a saddle of lamb in anchovy and thyme butter. I'm going to serve it with some roasted carrots and parsnips, some cabbage leaves that have been stuffed with some more lamb, some chestnuts, some mushrooms.
I love a chestnut.
Do you love a chestnut?
Yeah, my mum puts them in the sprouts at Christmas.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, nice.
Something like that. And finish that with a load of mint sauce. If they give you hell, it's going to be slimy okra. So I'm going to make it. I'm not going to make it slimy though. Slimy okra. You're going to love it. I'm going to make an okra stew using tomatoes and garlic and spices and chilli. I'm going to bake that and serve that with little slices of okra that have been deep fried in buttermilk, polenta and paprika, like those crisps that you hate as well. Obviously, you're going to have to wait to the end of the show to find out which one the viewers vote for. So guys, go and log on to the website now to vote for Melanie's Food Heaven or Hell. Obviously, you can view the terms and privacy notices there as well if you're interested in that sort of thing. And as ever, we've been as ever, you've been sending in lots and lots of pictures of all the recipes you've created at home. So here's our mood board this week. So we got, this is an upside down tart tatin that hasn't been turned out yet. That's Shivi's fondant, which
looks good, doesn't it?
Looks really nice, actually. That's nicer than the one Shiv turned out last week. This is, sorry, Shiv. This is Nigella's cake. That was delicious. There's that dirty sandwich I made, the Reuben the other week. Very nice. Right, let's have a closer look at a few of these. First up, we've got Katrina and Mark. They enjoyed date night. That's another thing, apparently?
It's a total thing.
Is it, Ollie?
It's a total
yes. There's a voice behind this picture. So they made Jason Atherton's ox cheek and langoustines. Very nice. Look at that.
I like these glasses.
I know. Glasses good.
Plate's
Plate's
nice.
good. The candle, they've gone all out there on date night. And Adam was a brave man taking on Keith Floyd's salt cod stew from last week's show. That looks better than what Keith made, actually. And finally, Katie made a picture-perfect version of Bryn's beetroot tart tatin. Very nice. Look at that. It's not burnt. It's beetroot. That's beetroot coloured. It's not burnt. We've had this discussion. It's not burnt. Well done, Katie. Keep them coming in. Just send them over to us at saturday.kitchen@cactustv.co.uk or share them using the hashtag SaturdayKitchen. Right, should we do some cooking?
Right. Sure.
So, Ching, you're up first. Vivek,
yes.
You're going to nip off.
Yep.
Let's keep socially distant here. You can have a coffee.
Yep.
So veggie ants climbing trees.
Veggie ants climbing trees, yeah. So I've got here some mung bean noodles, and I just want to soak these because I want to prepare them in real time. They're made of mung bean and they're starch.
Okay.
So otherwise known as glass noodles, basically. So we're going to just prep them first, just 10 minutes in hot water, and then they're ready to go.
I thought they were rice noodles, no?
Huh?
They're mung bean noodles.
Yeah, mung bean noodles.
But
so,
do rice noodles look the same as that?
yeah, they look a bit similar, but
Okay.
actually rice noodles are a bit more opaque in colour, so they're not as translucent. So mung bean noodles are. So we're just gonna, we've got here basically the soy mince, and it's kind of like making couscous in a sense. You just need to rehydrate it. And basically what soy mince or dried soy mince is that it's dried, it's pressed soybeans fresh, and then it's been steamed. The oil is pressed out of it, and then it's steamed, and then it's dehydrated, and then you rehydrate it just by adding hot water or stock like that. Yeah. I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know why I'm walking away from it.
People do, Ching. Don't worry. So this threatening look at it. So tell us about this name. Where does the name come from?
Okay, so ants climbing trees in Chinese we call 蚂蚁上树, and it's very sort of poetic. But actually, the legend has it that somebody in the village in Sichuan basically made this dish and served it to their grandmother, and they were like, what is, the grandmother was like, couldn't see properly, and was like, is that ants climbing trees on those branches there in that dish?
Really? And that's where the name came from?
And that's where the name comes from.
Bad eyesight.
Yeah, basically bad eyesight. But it's a really lovely dish. It's a simple street snack dish. You can get it, in Chengdu or in Chongqing, and it's lovely. And I like it. I think, you know what? It's undersold. Because we have a lot of Asian dishes, actually, that I think are just so beautiful, but yet people still don't know about them because everyone kind of sticks to the comforting, sweet and sour, and there's nothing wrong with that, sweet and sour and, hot and sour, those sort of flavors. So we kind of forget these simple, honest, humble dishes that actually take a few fresh ingredients. I mean, you're talking garlic, ginger, chilies, and then mostly store-cupboard ingredients. And, you know, Mel, maybe in Malaysia, you would have tried like a variation of this because that whole region, you know, fuses like Chinese, Malay, Indian sort of cuisines. And there is a mai fan, a mi fan, like a Hakka-style mi fan that uses minced pork with rice noodles that is very similar to this. So it's really, really nice, yeah. So I'm just gonna, this is not really the traditional part of this dish, so I'm just frying some leeks.
What did you dust those in?
I dusted them in half corn flour and half potato flour.
Okay, that's just the crispy kind of.
Just to give them a nice crispness, yeah. And then some more seasoning of some caster sugar and some white pepper, and that's just so delicious. That's like crisp.
So you've got salt, that salt sugar taste. So that's essentially like that sort of seaweed element.
Yeah, exactly. Like, well, it's umami. It's umami, but it's crunchy and it's fragrant. Yeah. And you know, I love to put just a little twist on it and things that people at home could do and really easily, you know, without overcomplicating things. But you know, if you're at home and you know having a dinner party, you want to do something a little bit, you know, a bit more kind of, I don't know.
There's always so much more to Chinese food, isn't it? I mean, I always get very upset when I go to a Chinese restaurant. And you know, there's the kind of the Western menu, and then there's the Chinese menu, and you have to ask for that one.
Yeah,
because I mean, they're all the kind of interesting things.
They don't give me the Chinese menu either.
They're not.
No, I mean, the Chinese menu, in terms, there's so much there to be discovered. Like, so much we still don't know, and I don't know. But because China and Chinese cuisine and the whole of Asia is so vast and there's so many influences from everywhere, it's really hard to just kind of succinctly put it on a menu, I think. And I think in actual fact, what's really good is to have a variety, a changing menu, I think, so that people could really experience, you know, all the different flavours.
Speaking of which, you've got two elements to this dish.
So yeah, so this is just my little side dish. I just want to show you how easy it is to do broccoli. And basically, just really simply, some garlic ginger chili, Shaoxing rice wine, goji berries, some fresh broccoli that I've sliced across the floret, so it's like flat slices. It's just for presentation.
Right.
Rice wine, a little bit of sesame oil, and I'm just going to thicken it. Just kind of bring it together, marry the flavours together with some corn flour and a little bit of stock.
And this is a super quick.
This is super quick, yeah. I mean, but you just want to see how beautifully all this comes together. And the trick is Shaoxing rice wine. You've got to have Shaoxing rice wine.
Really, that makes everything tasty.
Yeah, I think it does.
Oh, wow, that was good. Okay.
Okay, so that's
your mum,
ready.
Didn't she teach you how to cook a sweet and sour?
Pork, yeah. Pork my mum actually, so in the 80s, we had fabulous food because my mum, who's watching, hi mum, she loves to cook everything from scratch.
Right.
And, you know, she was doing dishes that none of my friends had tried. You know, it was amazing. And it was just like, on the weekly menu. So, yeah, we were dead lucky,
So she's really adventurous.
Yeah, she is.
Oh, great. So
she's doing her Christmas cake today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's an epic, isn't it?
So I've got here some garlic ginger chili, and then you see the mince, the soy mince, which I think it's got a really lovely clean flavour. And you know, if you're trying to reduce the amount of meat that you eat, I think that this is a really good alternative. And actually, this recipe is also in my next book, Asian Green, and there's lots of, you know, plant-based alternatives. And what's great about Asian cuisine is that it offers all these, you know, different flavors and also interchangeable sort of dishes, so that in terms of protein and vegetables. So it's flexible, it's adaptable, and healthy.
Of all the cuisines in the world, I think you have so many fantastic sauces and additions. You can make anything tasty, can't you?
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I'm biased.
Even minced soya.
Even minced soya like this. Listen, don't knock it. In fact, I chose it again because I knew you liked it the last time.
It was very nice. Very nice,
so I thought we would reintroduce it, you know, and reinforce it. So So yeah, so a little bit more tamari went in there, and if you have dark soy, that's absolutely
and tamari
fine.
is what, Ching?
And tamari is the gluten-free soy.
Okay.
So it's still got that depth of umami. It's still got a lovely clean note, yeah.
There's not a lot of difference in flavour.
No, no. I think it works really wonderfully well. But it's hard to get a dark soy that's gluten-free.
Okay. And
dark is really for colour. But we still managed to get a lovely depth and richness of colour in this dish with the tamari, which is really nice. Okay, then we're going to go in with some Shaoxing rice wine. And I'm also going to show you, traditionally, this dish in China, we use doubanjiang, which is a chili bean paste. It's basically, again, fermented soy. This time we're using a different kind of fermented soy in the form of miso. Now, miso is also gluten-free.
Okay.
If you use brown rice miso.
Okay.
So this has a different kind of umami. You would love this richness and the fermented notes. And it's got a kind of sweetness to it as well, which I love. We're going to put in some rice vinegar. And then we're going to pour that in. It's so weird that we can't cook together. But you can't help me cook.
It's quite relaxing for me, I'd say.
It's very relaxing, isn't it? It's
I don't
not
mind
fair.
it. Just loitering around here on the corner.
Okay.
Is there any dishes that you picked up in Malaysia that you sort of keep going back to?
No, I think I tend to go for like the most popular dish in the country. I kind of wish I'd been a little bit more adventurous, really.
Yeah. It's
I
great
think it can be
pace.
difficult sometimes. I was in China last year, and I was so excited to get some real authentic Chinese food, but I kept getting sent to like European restaurants
okay.
because I think they think that's what we want, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where were you? What part?
I actually can't even remember.
Come back to me.
Yeah. It's Saturday morning. It's a bit early.
It was a whirlwind tour.
It was. I think I was there for 2 days. Yeah.
Okay, so we're almost there. Now, at this stage, I'm just going to add in some stock, okay? And this just, I know it sounds strange because you wanted this to be a dry sort of dish, but actually the noodles and the soy mince just soak up all that flavour and it just enriches it. So if you have the time and you just cook it down now for literally another minute, the colours intensify, the flavours intensify, and that stock just cooks out.
And what is that, veg stock?
And that's just veg stock. But you could use, because obviously it's a veggie dish, but if you were doing this with pork mince, you could use like, beef stock if you wanted to, or chicken stock. So that's it. It's really, this is a really kind of gentle, beautiful, and simple dish. And just last
I tried,
but not
I had
least,
some
just
great
the spring
street food
onions.
in China. Really interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff
Did you
I
have
would revisit
insects?
as well.
Things like insects.
Things like insects, things like chicken's feet and sesame seeds. Yeah, but you
Yeah.
know, it's all interesting. It's all part of the experience.
You
isn't it?
had ants?
Yeah, I think we had ants. Yeah, I mean, and what you forget, it's such a vast country
Yeah, I mean, the thing is...
that there's sort of differences in every province you go to is it's got different kind of leanings, hasn't it?
I think, the dishes are such that, we use a very little amount of protein and then to flavour the dish. And the rest is basically rice or noodles, or dumplings, like the wheat flour wrappings.
Yeah.
So a little goes a long way. And I think that's a really sustainable way of cooking
What's that
these
leaf?
days. So I've got a little bamboo leaf. Now, if you don't have that at home, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't look like the bamboo leaves I have at home in my garden. They're really small.
Yeah.
That's mad.
They're really thin,
Worried
aren't
about
they?
pandas in this junction.
Okay.
You're never short on portion size, are you?
Sorry, I'm a feeder, actually.
You are a feeder,
I
I
am
can
a
tell.
feeder. Sorry, I learnt that from my grandma. But we're going to just put that there. And just
So
a
the
few
new book,
broccoli bits.
is it entirely vegetarian?
It's all actually plant-based. It's all vegan.
It's all vegan?
Actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is something
But-
you practice that as well, don't you?
At
Your
home-
partner's vegan.
Yeah, at home, we are mostly vegan at home because hubby is, and because he actually cured his asthma, which
Okay.
is surprisingly, because
Yeah.
it's something that you can't, ever cure, from going plant-based. And this was a few years ago. And so it's really changed his life. and because he loves to exercise.
Yeah.
He loves, I mean, we love the your Blame It On Me video where you're like Street Fighter style stuff. So he loves all of that Kung Fu stuff. And
sounds a bit violent.
Anyway, so he, he's cured himself of it and just through diet. So, you know, we really don't know. I mean, I think plant power is the next big thing,
right.
really.
It looks amazing, Ching. Remind us what it's called.
So this is called Veggie Ants Climbing Trees. And don't forget the crispy...
Veggie Ants Climbing Trees.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Right.
Okay.
Can I take it now?
Yeah, you can. I'll stop fussing now, sorry.
Okay. You need to move.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Ching. Right.
I'm going to embarrass myself with chopsticks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, we had that chat earlier, actually.
Oh, I forgot the little dollop of sriracha sauce.
So, here, I'll take that.
On the side.
Ollie, what have we got here, wine-wise?
We have Marks & Spencer's Classics Pinot Gris. It's from their new range, and this wine comes from Alsace. It is as sumptuous and silky as a velvet peach. Now, if you think of all the fragrance in the dish, it's quite full of flavour, but the texture's soft. And this wine does pretty much exactly the same thing. Lots of lovely fruity character from Alsace. That's thanks to the Vosges Mountains, which create a rain shadow, allowing the grapes to enjoy all of the sunshine and get fully ripe. And that's exactly what you want with this level of umami in the dish. But this wine here, an inside track wine. Alsace deserves to be a headline star. This is why.
That's delicious. I love an Alsace wine. How's that? Ray?
It's really good. It quite possibly is the most difficult thing to eat with chopsticks ever.
Yeah. on telly. What were you thinking?
I'm sorry, we don't
What were you thinking,
I was
Ching?
just saying, we don't cut noodles
Don't,
as well.
don't come in here with your MBE noodles.
We want you to have a long life, Mel, you see. We don't cut noodles.
Beautiful, though. I love it.
It's delicious.
It's
right,
really good.
yeah, you use the cutlery. Vivek will be back later with a Diwali celebration dish. Tasted it earlier. It is delicious. Stay tuned. Plus, we'll be showcasing some of the best food and drink advent calendars available for 2020. Don't forget, send in your photos or foodie questions to us at saturday.kitchen@cactustv.co.uk or join in the chat on social media using the hashtag SaturdayKitchen. And well, Melanie will be tucking into her food heaven roast saddle of lamb with mint sauce or her food hell okra stew with deep fried crispy okra. Go and log on to the website now and have your say. Right, time to catch up with Rick now as he continues his French adventure. And this week he's in Alsace. There you go, Ollie, very on message there. Tasting biodynamic wines in a family-run winery. Have a look. Thanks for that, Rick. Irresistible indeed. Now, we saw Rick making a tarte flambe there, which is very Alsace. It's a dish that's popular along the border of France and Germany, and it gives me a perfect excuse to make another Alsatian dish. This is choucroute garni. This is one of my desert island dishes. If you haven't tried it, it's delicious. Go and make it yourself. Here, I'm going to show you how to do it. It's basically, you need a lump of smoked meat, some sausages. I've got bratwurst here. So it's kind of a combination between sort of French and German, really. We've got the choucroute or sauerkraut, and don't be put off by that. It is delicious. I'm going to chuck some apples in there for a bit of sweetness. I've got a Toulouse sausage. I've got a black pudding. If you can get white pudding, so much the better. And I'm going to saute it all in a bit of duck fat, garlic and thyme, which, quite frankly, no offence, Ching, makes everything tasty. So let's start with that. So whole cloves of garlic. The meat's going to get browned, and then it gets braised in some Riesling wine. There's a theme today, and some stock for about 2 hours. So let's get that in. Get the sausages in just for a bit of colour. Sausages will want to split, so obviously be careful with those. Move that aside. And then I'm going to chuck in some onions, the apple, some spices. I've got some caraway seed and some juniper going in there as well. It's pretty much it. It's really simple, but it's a lovely kind of... It's a lovely combination between the kind of the French influences and the German influences, and so much better, you know, if you've got a really great German beer or a bottle of Alsace. Have you toured in Germany, presumably?
I spent a lot of time in Germany, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I'm not really into sausages.
You're not into what? You're not into sausages? Ace.
Yeah, the ingredients of this, and it wouldn't be my personal choice
Brilliant. Well, I'm going to convince you.
But I'm willing to try.
I mean, this is
Try
proper
anything.
full-on sausage business. This is something
You couldn't
else.
get more sausagey than that.
It's a great phrase. I'm going to use it all the time. Okay, well let's get off of this then for now.
I do like sauerkraut though.
You what?
Sauerkraut's great, and
Yeah.
it's having the moment because it's fermented. It's very good for your gut, isn't it?
Yeah.
Lots of
Delicious.
people talk about gut health.
Oh yeah, and obviously, you know, the fermented foods is all the rage at the moment.
Yeah.
But it is, you know, if you don't want to be put off by sauerkraut, it's a lovely thing to try. Anyway, let's talk about your new album.
Yes.
Eighth studio album.
Yeah.
Are you still as excited about the albums when they come out?
Do you know what? I think every time you release something, you've spent so much time and put so much, you know, energy into it. You're always excited. But this one feels very special because it almost feels like a bit of a new chapter for me. I've worked with lots of new people, and I was very inspired by being back on stage with the Spice Girls last year. We did our stadium shows, which were amazing. And I just felt like I wanted to make a really fun record. I wanted to try and make people want to dance.
Yeah.
But I also wanted them to be able to listen. You know, I've been very honest about the lyrics. It's a lot about self-acceptance, and I want to empower people and entertain people, of course.
And how did you cope making it during lockdown?
Yeah, it's been interesting. Luckily, most of it was done before we got into the lockdown situation. And the last little bits we had to do, we could do some bits remotely, some bits socially distanced. But the promotion's been wild because I've done so much on Zoom and, you know, different platforms.
Yeah, I mean, how's that, though?
But it's kind of amazing because I've spent, like, my mornings in Australia, and then in the daytime I've been in Europe, in the evenings in the US.
Yeah.
And it's been really full on. It's been great because it's kept me focused. You know, I need to be busy. And I think this year it's been hard. You know, we've all had a lot of time, haven't we, to think about.
I mean, is that a thing for you?
everything
Do you need
going
to
on.
keep active, keep working all
Yeah,
the time?
I think I do better when I'm very busy.
Right.
Yeah, I find it hard to relax.
Yeah.
But cooking's good for relaxing.
Yeah. Unless you're doing it on live telly. When Ching-He, Huang, OBE, MBE, whatever it is, I've forgotten, has taken up all the time. So, anyway, let's back to this. So, stir the onions for a leisurely amount of time. In with some chopped apple. They're going to give it a nice kind of sweetness and a bit of a sort of a tartness as well. In with the spices, so some juniper berries and the caraway. Bay leaf, 2 bay leaves, chuck that in. And then in with the wine. Bring that up, boil off the acidity, so you're left with all those nice kind of floral flavours from a Riesling wine. And then when that's brought down, in with the stock, and then back in with the kind of the larger pieces of meat. Sausages and the potatoes and the sauerkraut, or choucroute, go in about sort of 40 minutes before the end, so it all cooks nicely at the same time. Right, so that goes in.
Ollie, did you have a say in the Riesling?
It's a great question, Ching. Alas, no, Matthew didn't involve me in this one. But I would say Riesling from Alsace again, totally underrated. Brilliant stuff. Good choice.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Right, let's move that aside. So when you're, you know, you obviously went through the Spice Girls, you then went out on your own. You know, the other year you went back with the Spice Girls. Is it very different? It's quite sort of terrifying going back out on your own because you're kind of spreading the fear, I suppose, between a group as opposed to just being you.
Do you know what? They're two very different things, and I have realised that there is enough room in my life for both. And I think when I started my solo career, like way back, 1999, I released Northern Star, which was my first solo record.
I bought it.
Ah, did you?
I bought it, yes.
Oh.
Yes. It was on a CD, as it was called then.
Yeah, CDs, they were a big thing. And you know, it was an amazing time, but I think I was really keen to show another side to myself.
Yeah.
So I think I kind of left some of my Spice Girl, you know, to the side.
Yeah.
And through the years, I've realised, you know, it's really important to embrace all aspects of who you are. And being a Spice Girl is the reason I became a solo artist.
Right.
You know, I never would have had the opportunities that I've had. So this album really is a celebration of just the realisation of that, and just I'm being sporty and being Melanie C and Mel C and, you know, all the other things that people tend to call me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was iconic, wasn't it? I mean, you still kind of look back with such kind of fond memories
Oh
at that
my
time.
goodness. Last year was amazing because we did the stadium shows and I think it hit us all for the first time, the impact that we'd had on this generation of young people.
Well, you had an impact on me.
Yeah.
I know, we were talking about it. It's so nostalgic,
Yes.
isn't it? You were saying it just takes you back to being a kid and
You
those
empowered
lovely
us. You made
times.
us feel like, you know, we could do anything. That the world was your oyster sauce.
But you know what? That is...
Sorry, Jane. Let's not make that go unnoticed.
I love it.
Brilliant.
The world was your oyster sauce.
The world is your oyster sauce.
Listen.
But that's the wonderful thing, I think, for us girls. We're so proud because, obviously, you know, we love our music. We're super proud of that. But that legacy of, you know, girls feeling empowered, boys feeling empowered, the LGBTQ+ community are great supporters of the Spice Girls, as we are of theirs. So it's, there's just a lot of love for us, and we are very grateful to our wonderful fans as well.
To me personally, you were like the Bond girls. You know, there was Bond and we loved him, but you were like the Bond girls and there were more of you.
You're a fan, weren't you, clearly?
I'm such a fan. I mean, such a fan. I have to admit, I haven't been sleeping all week because, you know...
Oh, that's so sweet.
You actually won on my bucket list to cook for. I mean,
my
no
goodness.
kidding, no kidding. And
Oh,
I have 2 of your records there for you to
Oh,
sign.
yeah, I'll be signing those.
Yes.
And when we can, I'll
speaking
come
of
round
which-
your house and you can cook a full meal for me. I would like that.
that'd be
I'm inviting
amazing.
myself over.
Wow.
And I'll bring my mum.
Oh,
Because
yes,
she loves
please.
Chinese food,
She's
so we'd be
absolutely welcome.
Amazing.
Speaking of which,
This is a date.
This is my vinyl here. I'd like you to sign that.
Yes.
I was going to talk to you about vinyl because obviously everyone's downloading music now. Apparently they don't go to our price music anymore and queue up on a Saturday afternoon. But vinyl is a big thing.
Vinyl is coming back,
Please,
which
tuck
is
in.
brilliant. Can you get a closer?
Keep talking, man. Keep talking.
I'll keep talking. So, no, it's brilliant and it's a wonderful thing to see, and I think lots more artists are releasing in lots of different formats. We do consume music differently. Everybody's online, and it's brilliant to be able to access all this music so quickly and easily. But I think the real fan base, they want something physical. They like to collect, you know?
It's like Kindle books and actual physical books, isn't it? I mean, I love having the vinyl. I love the sound of it. I love my record player that I don't get out.
And it's beautiful, the artwork. You know, you spend all this time creating beautiful artwork, and you can't really
you miss
appreciate
that
it on a
on,
computer.
Well,
Go on,
pick up
I'll try a bit of
Go on, you try
sausage.
that.
It's really
What will I be
good.
making for Melanie at the end of the show? Will it be her food heaven, roast lamb? If so, I'm going to roast a saddle of lamb in anchovy and thyme butter. I'm going to serve that with some roasted carrots and parsnips, as well as the cabbage leaves that have been stuffed with lamb mince, chestnuts, mushrooms, all finished with a mince sauce. Is that all right?
Where's the wine?
You're nodding. There's no wine at this point.
In my fridge.
Or will it be her food hell?
In my fridge.
I'm going to make... We didn't get your water either. So I'm going to make an okra stew with tomatoes and garlic and chilli and spices. I'm going to bake that and serve it with slices of okra that have been deep fried in buttermilk, polenta and paprika. Until crisp, go and log on to the website now and get voting. Right, Vivek's cooking a dish for Diwali next, after we caught up with Keith Lloyd on his trip around Spain. And this week, he's on a whirlwind search for the best Spanish breakfast, 11s and lunch, very Keith Floyd. And I'm going to get my record signed by Mel in just a bit.
Now, a little confession here. Call me a silly old chump if you want, but I'm not really all that impressed by capital cities. And as a cook, I find it extremely hard to find a gastronomic thumbprint here. So I thought, to give you, the viewer, an impression of what the successful Spaniard would consume in the course of a normal working day, I'd run through the basic things, you know, breakfast, lunch and dinner. Of course, fiestas are a bit different. And so, breakfast. Basically, there are 2 kinds of breakfast. There's the international hotel stuff, eggs fried at 4 o'clock in the morning and flabby bacon, or there's the real Spanish breakfast. A real Spanish breakfast can be something sweet, like churros, with hot coffee or hot chocolate, or, much more to my taste indeed, is the savoury breakfast. Fresh bread spread with garlic, olive oil and tomato and salt, and munched down with a refreshing glass of chilled red wine. No better way to start the day. Go back to work after this wonderful breakfast, tippity-tap-tap, plant a few trees or dig a few rows, sell a few hats, and then it's time for 11s. And 11s, well, after a hard morning in the office, they could be anything you fancy. Patatas bravas, potatoes in mayonnaise, calamares, some simple bread, some octopus, or because I've had a very difficult morning, really battered out on the typewriter and the air conditioning went down, I'm going to have some little boccheronis, little fillets of fish marinated in olive oil and vinegar. Washed down with a refreshing glass of chilled vermouth. And you know, it's nearly lunchtime. No, this isn't exactly lunch quite yet, because you see, in Madrid and throughout Spain, just before lunch, they pop out for a little aperitif and a tapas. This is a changuru, which comes from the Basque country, and it's a wonderful, wonderful crab baked in tomato sauce. And a little bit of paella, which can come from Valencia or the Costa Blanca. And just to rear an appetite up, little fresh prawn in vinaigrette. And because it now is almost lunchtime, and that's 1:45 in Spain, by the way, not 12 o'clock like it is in France or 1 o'clock like it is in England, it's about 2 o'clock lunchtime. A little sip of chilled fino, a little drop of sherry to get the taste buds really going because it's lunch. And then, of course, after lunch, there's not exactly more work, it's called a siesta. Salted pilchards, a gastronomic link that goes back possibly to the days of the Armada, when, of course, salting was one of the only ways of preserving food. But even 400 miles inland, you can find the freshest of fish landed overnight and loaded onto fast trains. It arrives at dawn, sparkly-eyed, silver of fin, and piping fresh. And so, for my final cooking sketch, I took inspiration from this family, who are spending the day cooking with friends, playing cards and talking about old times, doing really the same thing their grandparents did, and probably cooking the same dish, pisto manchego, stewed peppers, tomatoes and onions. In these brilliant mini breaks, sometimes there's a little sadness when you have to say goodbye, not only to people, but to things, like this lovely old thing here, Julia, my bus, which has brought me from Malaga virtually to Madrid. So what I'll do is cook a little snack for the driver. Now, this is a dish, a very simple dish, come down here, Clive, and have a look, which involves cubes of stale bread soaked in water, dipped in paprika, which have then been fried in garlic-flavoured olive oil. OK, it also has chopped mountain ham, it has fresh farmhouse eggs, little bits of fried bacon, and some fried onion and garlic. Now, back up to me. Very simple, you might say. Very simple indeed it is. It's a dish which comes from Andalusia and is well known throughout Spain. But the secret of it is getting it all tossed up nicely in some lovely olive oil. So the onions go in first, like so, and they've already been fried a little bit. A little bit of bacon, like that. A little bit of mountain ham. OK, quickly shirred round like that, as the Americans might say. Then you toss in your cubes of bread, and of course it's at this stage that the bread takes on the flavour of the ham, the garlic, the paprika, and the bacon. Right, now that is all but it. Simple, you might say. It is very simple. OK, that's the base of it. But then there's the tricky bit, the bit of frying the eggs. And in 7 years, you know, I've never fried an egg on TV. Let's see what happens. Clive, big close-up here, please. Hot oil. 1 egg. 2 eggs. Now, back up to me a second. My chum Albert Roux, when he interviews aspiring young cooks, doesn't give them a long, lengthy discussion and lots of questions and answers. He simply says, could you fry me an egg, please? And if they take the egg carefully, break it open carefully, and do their very best to cook it well, he hires them. If they think, well, an egg's an egg, any fool can cook that and throw it in the pan, they don't get past the kitchen door. Simple, isn't it? Anyway, here we are. Eggs are nearly ready. Lovely, good Spanish olive oil all over them. I don't know how Raphael likes his eggs. I'm going to assume he likes them slightly underdone. Right, so to complete the dish, lovely fried eggs on top of the croutons in paprika and the bits of bacon, the ham, the garlic, and that whole stuff. Right, now, Clive, can you come with me? Because I'm going to surprise our poor old driver and ask him if he could face eating a spot of this. Raphael, have a go at that.
Oh.
I hope you like it. Actually, I hate these bits where I have to give food I've cooked to strangers.
Qué bueno.
Bueno, sí? Y
Bueno.
auténtico?
Auténtico. Auténtico de verdad.
See? Oh, I seem to have cracked it. I'll trot along then. To celebrate the end of this wonderful journey, I could have cooked the most extravagant dish. But I know that the Spanish friends, cooks, waiters, barons and bouncers that I've met would really approve of this simple dish. I dedicate it to them.
Thanks for that, Keith. I love that white suit. I'd like a white suit, Ollie. Do you think I could pull it off?
I've got one knocking around somewhere. I think it might even be a safari suit.
Yeah, of course you have. Of course you have. Very Roger Moore. Right, still to come. There's a lot of food and drink advent calendars around this year. So we're showing you some of the best that we found. And Melanie will wanna be eating her food heaven at the end of the show. But will you put a stop to that voting for her food hell? I nearly put my back out doing that. Log on to the website now and have your say. Right, Vivek, you're cooking a Diwali dish, aren't you?
Yes. So I'm cooking you a Diwali dish of a Bengali stir fry of shrimps, prawn, whatever you want, and some marrow. Very unusual. I mean, this is what the marrow looks like. It's called doodhi in India.
Okay.
You know, it's quite bland on its own, but it's in this dish, it does take in the flavors. Is this going to
change my mind on marrow?
Well, I hope it does, yes.
It's like the king of allotments, isn't it? You know, people give you these marrows.
You get loads, and they're this big, and you don't know what marrow, to do. You can use courgette in this country. It's absolutely fine. Just peel it, whatever. What I've done with this is I've peeled it, got rid of the pith. I've got some turmeric and some salt, and I've boiled it 15 minutes or so. Okay. That's probably the bit that takes the longest, to be honest with you. In fact, longer than cooking the prawns. So
this is a very simple-looking recipe.
Yeah, very simple. And actually, it is pretty real-time in terms of, you know, the cooking of it.
But this is a classic Diwali dish.
It's a classic dish. I mean, it wouldn't normally be served on its own. It will be a part of many, many things.
Okay.
I mean, in fact, you know, most feasts are like that. We bookend the meal with sweets at the beginning and sweets at the end. I mean, every Indian festival, especially Diwali, has got to be about sweets, which is why I've got you the sweets. I mean, I couldn't have come to your house and not brought you sweets at Diwali.
I know, that would just be rude.
It wouldn't have, that wouldn't work.
What do we have here, then?
So you've got 3 different types of sweets. You know, the yellow chickpea bowls, you see.
Yeah.
They're, actually, 2 of the 3 are gluten-free. So that's laddu. That's Lord Ganesha's favorite sweet. Ooh. Yeah, everybody serves that. Everybody offers that. You know, it's
cardamom in it.
Yeah, there's bits of black cardamom seed in it.
Nice,
nice.
What's this little funny little silver one?
Oh yeah, that's the cashew nut burfi. You know, it's a cashew burfi. It's considered to be what rich people give to each other.
Oh really?
It's quite expensive. It's like a marzipan, but you know, with cashew nut.
I feel special. It's what you'd give me, Ollie.
And then
yes, indeed. Every day of the week.
Yeah. The third one is what is traditionally made in homes by, you know, housewives. People spend days making these in homes. It looks like a Cornish pasty, but it's a sweet version of that.
It's a lot of work in these.
Semolina, yeah, exactly. Very, very, very nicely, very beautifully done. You know, it's each one a labor of love, so to say. Yeah. Very, very sweet.
And these are as important, aren't they, as the savoury?
At Diwali, absolutely, yes. Yeah. It's the kind of thing that, you know, as I was saying, you know, you bookend the meal, both ends. When people arrive, you give them sweets. And then, depending on how many people you've got coming home,
right,
you have made what you made, you know, a selection of dishes. And then you go on, if somebody is still hungry at the end, you simply give them more
feed
sweets
them
to finish
more
off with. Yeah. So what I've got here, I'm making a little...
No under-catering going on there.
Sorry?
No under-catering.
No under-catering whatsoever, no. So what I've got here is I've got a little bit of cumin and some turmeric and some ground red chilies.
Okay.
And I'm going to simply make it into a...
And we should say you're using a mustard oil, aren't you?
Yeah, I've used
this
mustard
oil. This is really
oil.
pungent.
Very pokey.
It's it's like English mustard powder. You know the smell of fresh English mustard powder.
You know, you were asking about, you know, would it work if you simply toasted some seeds?
No, it wouldn't.
It doesn't. Unfortunately, it doesn't. So for this,
so what's that kind of? That's just bringing a kind of a bitterness or a heat.
That's the preferred medium of cooking, to be honest with you. Okay. Mustard oil is what they use in Bengal a lot. I mean, you can use, if you were rich, you were using a bit of ghee as well. I've kind of kept this dish dairy-free, so, you know, I've kind of kept out of ghee.
Right.
So that's happening. I just give it a minute or so just for the spices to fry out. Okay.
So I mean, Diwali is obviously a big, sort of big family occasion. That's not going on this year. I mean, how are people going to be celebrating?
Actually, Diwali has always been a very sort of family occasion, per se. It's more than just religious. It has been a social and a cultural thing. Everybody in India celebrates Diwali. It doesn't matter whether you're a Hindu or not, whether you're practicing Hindu or not.
Right.
Everybody did and does. So
and can you tell us, Vivek, about the significance of light in Diwali?
Yeah, Diwali is a festival of lights, There's, people clean their houses for days, literally. Decorate their houses with little sort of, beautiful sort of decorations going on, and then light diyas and celebrate by exchanging gifts and giving each other whatever.
So when we talk about sort of the celebration of festival light, it's kind of good over evil, is it?
Yeah, that essentially is the underlying spirit of it. And this year, more so than ever, I think. Dare I say, Diwali in the past, when I was sort of younger and living in India, it had a tendency of getting into sort of levels of ostentatiousness, which is not necessarily, what you needed.
Right.
Whereas this year, it's given people an opportunity to actually connect.
Yeah.
And go back into doing it the way Diwali has been celebrated, which is essentially with families.
Okay.
And it's the spirit of it, which is more important than the ostentatious display of wealth. I've got some puris I'm going to quickly fry.
Right.
Let's see how that does.
Now, the Cinnamon Club is closed, obviously, at the moment.
Oh, well, at the moment, everything is closed except that, Cinnamon Club and Battersea, the two restaurants, we've kept it open for deliveries, takeaways.
Okay.
And, we think, a lot of people got in touch with us and said, they were missing the kind of things that they would come to us for.
Right.
To enjoy, to celebrate, to have feasts, and,
So you're doing these feasting menus?
Exactly. So we've launched, nationwide deliveries of feasts. Yeah. People can go on and, order their favorite things. It's a menu, a couple of really popular dishes, a whole grand sort of ramen that I put on the show before.
Leg of lamb.
Yeah.
I remember
that
was delicious.
Yeah, the butter chicken. And so people can actually go to the website, order it, and we organize nationwide deliveries for them. It's just anything, really.
It's been really interesting to see how the restaurant industry is kind of adapted.
It has been very interesting to see how the restaurant industry is sort of,
Yeah. I mean, I suspect a lot of what we see now is going to continue as well.
I think so, too. I think, 20 years ago, if you said to me, would you be doing takeaways? I probably said,
not a chance.
Never.
Yeah.
Not from Cinnamon Club.
Yeah.
But there you are, and it is the reality of how things are, and it's about adapting, and it's just, and I have to say that the restaurant industry has been phenomenal in being agile, being sort of swift to respond to whatever's changing.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a real kind of survival mentality, hasn't there?
Yeah.
People,
right. So just to finish, a little bit of garam masala. See, the spices were so simple. A little bit of garam masala to finish.
Why would you add that right at the end and not early on?
Because it's a seasoning spice, it's a finishing spice. The thing about sort of good aromatic spices is that you don't want to be cooking too long. So you see, I've been cooking with turmeric, and I've cooked the chilies and the cumin, all the cheap spices, but the aromatic, the special ones, you simply add at the very end just to finish things off. Right, so let's take this away. Okay.
That's interesting. I've never come across that.
That's how the whole function of a garam masala works.
Right.
It's an aromatic spice that you add as a finishing spice. You don't cook with everything all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
In the same way you'd use soft herbs and hard herbs.
Oh, exactly that. Yeah, quite similar. Well, I've tasted this once. It is pretty banging. Very, very nice.
Did you just say this is really banging?
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a phrase I'd associate with you. This is
even if I say so myself. I love what, ajwain, which is also radhuni, mustard oil, cumin, ground, so ground and whole red chilies, what it does.
Yeah.
I just think it's... Have a look.
Have you been to the Cinnamon Club?
The puris...
I haven't, I've always wanted to go and never made it.
Yeah.
Well, now you
amazing.
know the owner.
I tell you, Melanie, I've been doing this show for over 12 years, and I barely get any attention from the kids on this one. This time, though, it's special.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Melanie C is on the show. There you go, people. So we've got Lao Ching-He, a Bengali stir-fry of prawns, and a puri, marrow. Enjoy.
Delicious. Ace. Right. Try that.
I'm excited for this
Be
one.
excited.
This is right up my
Be
street.
extra.
No
Have those
sausages
legs,
here.
Offending you with my sausages. There's a phrase I didn't think I'd say this morning. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really good.
That's good.
Great ratio of prawns to marrow as well.
Yeah. See, normally they put a lot more marrow, a lot less prawns. I'm cooking for two of you, so it's fine.
Exactly. And we're celebrating.
Oh, my goodness, it's so good.
Isn't that good?
Those shrimp, prawns, whatever we call them, they're huge. They're so meaty, they're lovely.
Very good. Oh, what's this?
It is such a tasty dish, Matt, and I was enthralled with the mustard oil as well. It brings a punchy element, and for the wine, I've gone with a Maverick Rosé that I'm so thrilled to share with you. It's called Left Field Rosé. It was made in lockdown in 2020 in New Zealand, and it's down on offer at the moment for $8.99, which actually for a wine like this, I think is a great price. It's a Maverick blend of Pinotage from South Africa. It's a grape from South Africa. It's not actually imported in. It's Merlot, and then Arneus, which is a grape you'd associate with Italy. So all grown in New Zealand, but the coming together of three grape varieties you wouldn't normally expect. And what that gives to the wine is fruitiness, depth, spiciness, and an unlikely combination that gives a near perfect balance. And also, I love that it's a rosé. I love the colour. It's to celebrate the Festival of Light. So happy Diwali.
Thank you very much.
Keep talking, Ollie.
Yeah, this is too good.
What do you think of the one?
I think it's a great match. Maverick.
Yeah.
That's the word I use for it.
It's sturdy, isn't it? It stands up to this.
Stands up.
It's robust. I'm going to invoke my favourite phrase. It's butch rosé, and that is one of the things that I love about rosé. It doesn't have to be light and simple and refreshing. It can be richer and it can be complex, and it can be fabulous to pair with food.
Butch rosé.
It's really handling the mustard really well, mustard oil.
How's
so
that going
good.
down over there?
Oh, it's so good.
Good, isn't it?
That wine's a bargain.
Yeah.
How much? $8.99?
$8.99, yeah, wait, it's normally...
Do you work for them? Right, time to catch up with Sam and Shauna now, and they're meeting members of the Hindu community in Cardiff to fire up the barbecue for a veggie feast. Have a look.
Since the 1960s, Grangetown has been home to a thriving population of Hindus who all originated from Gujarat, India's westernmost province.
The temple here is the largest in Wales, and it's a place of worship for people of all ages.
Right next to the temple is a building called a Samaj, which is a buzzing social club and a place where anyone can learn about the Gujarati culture.
Members of the Samaj regularly give up their time to do charity work, including cooking meals for Cardiff's homeless every month.
And they really know their food, so this time we'll be working with them to create a fusion of our southern-style cooking with traditional Gujarati ingredients.
And to help us find those ingredients, we're visiting one of Cardiff's biggest fruit and veg markets with Samaj chairwoman Vilas and her husband Mo.
This is the cassava.
Wow, what can we do with this?
You can barbecue this.
Yeah.
So it's use it like a potato.
This is what Mo eats for breakfast.
Chili challenge.
How about ginger?
Ginger we definitely need.
Beetroot. Do you have any natural beetroot?
Already.
How you doing? I'm doing well.
With the ingredients we've bought, we're going to celebrate the work of this community with a very special big vegetarian cookout. For the first cookout, we're also joined by fellow Samaj member Tan. Now for our beetroot and paneer burgers.
Paneer is a traditional soft, fresh cheese common in India. It's dead easy to make from scratch. First, you need a pan of hot milk.
All right. Alrighty, so namaste, ladies.
Namaste.
Then we add some lemon juice to the milk.
So, Vilas, what are we looking for in the paneer?
We're looking for the milk
To separate.
just to curdle a little bit.
Keep stirring as the acid in the lemon juice starts to separate the curds.
So this is looking spot on to me.
Transfer the paneer onto some muslin cloth over a bowl to drain. This will form the basis for our burgers.
So nice when it works in front of women that know how to make paneer. I'm going to grab all of these edges. Thank you, my glamorous assistant. That was probably about 1 litre of milk. And this is how much paneer that you get out of a litre of milk.
So you can imagine how much
we're
milk
going to
we
need
for 300 people.
And what I would just continue to do is squeeze that, just trying to get as much of that juice out as possible.
Then we need to grate the cooked beetroot. Now, one of the things that we need to do is because there's a lot of liquid in here.
Okay.
So we're going to fry this off on the barbecue. While the beetroot gently fries off, chop some chilies and grate some ginger.
How much we got there?
Yeah,
that should be enough. I think that should be enough, yeah. How's that going? I can see lots of lovely steam coming off that.
This is doing good.
So what we're going to do is the beetroot going in, coriander going in, our beautiful ginger and chilli going in, bit of salt, and then our Creole seasoning. This is kind of a southern style garam masala. Have a little taste.
But it's got some of the flavours that you would recognise. So in this particular one, we've got paprika, we've got some mustard seeds, we've got some fennel seeds, a little chilli.
These Creole spices will create a tasty fusion for our vegetarian burger.
The colour is so really good.
Nice and vibrant.
I don't really cook with much with beetroot, but this is good, yeah.
Here's our paneer.
It looks fab.
Look at that.
Oh, look at that.
I like it quite chunky in there. So now and again, you hit like that really gorgeous bite of creamy paneer. So we're just gonna pop this in. Oh, that looks great.
Really good.
Wow, look at that.
Do you know what? I think this is something all your kids would love as well.
It's nutritious as well, isn't it? If that doesn't get them eating beetroot.
Add some gram flour to bind, then make small patties out of the mixture.
So that's the burger element. So we need our chips. Now, I understand that peeling this is a bit tricky.
A little bit tricky.
So I'm going to leave this bit to the expert.
So you just put the knife underneath the skin. Yeah, OK. Oh, wow.
Oh, Vilas, you make it look really easy.
Yeah,
she does.
A little bit further, because you need to take that right, because this will be bitter. So you need to take that off, because you need to take the whole skin off. OK.
Once peeled, chop the cassava into evenly sized chips and then pop them over indirect heat on the barbecue. We've got our burgers and chips. We need a burger sauce.
This is where Vilas comes in. Vilas apparently has got a killer mango and apple chutney mix.
To make Vilas's chutney, we need to peel and grate green mangoes and apples, then mix with chopped green chilli, ginger, coriander, lemon and lime juice.
So shall I maybe start pounding some chilli and ginger together? Yeah.
To the ground chilli and ginger mix, add some salt and toasted cumin seeds.
Mix the paste with the chopped coriander, grated apple and mango, and squeeze in some lime and lemon juice.
I'm adding some avocado to Vilas's traditional recipe to give it an extra creamy texture.
If you have a little squirt of lemon juice in there, I'll just stop it oxidising for us. Yeah. All right, so we've got some mashed avocado. If you want to give that a good mix around. And check for seasoning.
Oh, come on, I got to taste this.
Nah.
Come on. The
The
apple's making it a little bit tart.
It needs a little bit, honey.
Once the cassava chips are ready, cook the patties on a hot, lightly oiled chapa or flat plate on the barbecue. Sprinkle some sea salt and chili flakes over the chips and we're good to go.
Wow. Right.
That's a beautiful plate.
Vilas.
Go on, V. Can we pass that to you?
Thank you.
Cheers, 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 cheers.
Really nice.
It's amazing. We haven't used that many ingredients to create this meal. So how's the salsa with the mango
It's
in
lovely.
it? Oh.
It's really nice.
Oh, my God. So do you think the Somali community are going to like this?
I think
they're going to love it.
They're going to love it.
Yeah?
Definitely. Definitely. Oh, this will go down really well.
Thanks for that, ladies. Obviously, it's a bit cold to be firing up barbecues at the moment, so I'm sure those burgers will probably work just as well under the grill. Right, the website vote is now closed, and we're going to find out if Melanie is facing her food heaven or food hell very soon. OK, it's time to sort out your Advent calendar options for 2020. Every year, there are more and more types available. Food and drink options have gone way beyond that cheap chocolate I used to love. So we wanted to explore some of the best calendars currently available. Obviously, you're going to have to be quick, because they're already selling out fast. Who knew? Anyway, so let's have a look at some of these. Let's start over here. This is Bon Maman Advent calendar. Let's bring this in. This is kind of cute. I like this. Look, looks like a doll's house. Quite traditional look. I like that. Different jam flavour every single day. So 23 different flavours. 24th, which is my birthday, in case anyone's interested. You get a special... just dropping that in there. You get a special gift. I'm not going to spoil that one in case anyone's got that, but that looks really nice. So you get 23... there you go, Tom, look at that. 23 of those. Nice little jams. Like those ones we nick from hotels at the buffet. So you don't have to do that anymore. How is that?
23 jams. Can you name 23 jams?
No, I can't. Don't test me.
24 jams.
Because they're not on the... You've got cherries and Christmas spices.
It's delicious.
How is it? It's nice?
Yeah, it's really fruity.
Good. Right, Candy Kittens Advent Calendar. This is this one. You build this yourself. OK? It comes flat packed, like most good furniture these days. You make all the angles up, you fill up these individual little boxes, and they've got little sweets inside them. And I believe they're vegan sweets, so that'll please you. I mean, it looks like a little pig face, doesn't it?
They're really good, actually.
Hey?
Yeah. I think my niece would love this.
Oh, quite nice. I like that.
Yeah.
They're quite sour, aren't they? I like a sour sweet.
I like a sour sweet. Great in a car. Packet of sour sweets in a car.
Yeah, and the services, yeah.
Yeah, we like
Easily
that.
pleased.
Right, who, me? Very easily pleased, you know that, Ollie. Right, so this big boy here, let's move this aside. Joe and Seth's. Candy Kittens, by the way, is £8. Joe and Seth's, this looks quite dramatic. There you go. Duh. Obviously, Joe and Seth's popcorn advent calendars. Let's have a look at this. Right, so let's open... Oh, look at that. Hang on, let's get a little bag of popcorn. That's nice. So, it's about 3 pieces of popcorn in there. that'll keep you going. But that looks very nice, actually. So, gourmet popcorn. 19 different flavours.
Nice,
yeah.
Brandy butter you've got over there.
That's good.
How is that?
That's really good. That's really naughty.
They do gingerbread, salted caramel, orange chocolate, toffee, apple and cinnamon.
I'm a bit like that about flavouring your popcorn, though.
You don't like a sausage.
I don't like a sausage. But I'm like, that's nice. What's this? The brandy butter one?
Yeah.
That's nice. It's
nice.
kind of like a traditional kind of toffee popcorn. Yeah. But don't be doing chocolate orange and all that.
How'd you get on with, like, truffle and stuff like that? I bet
What,
you don't
truffle?
like that.
What, like truffle on...
Yeah, truffle on popcorn.
I
Cheese and
like
truffle.
truffle on everything.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
This is nice.
Yeah, this is good.
like that.
But chocolate orange popcorn, it's taking it a bit far.
No,
sorry, Jerry. I'm sure it's wonderful.
Right, this boy, I'm going to hand over to you, Ollie. This is your number. Tell us about this.
Yeah, I love this. This is an advent calendar that is full of fantastic beers. And it comes from honestbrew.co.uk. It's £64.90, which works out around £2.70 a beer. But the thing I really love about this is you get 12 that are exclusive, and they've selected brilliant craft beer from all around the UK and Europe. So for us to have a little sip, Melanie, you may not get along with this one. This is a chocolate orange and pastry from White.
She doesn't
Tag.
like things messed around with, Ollie. I'm learning this.
Yeah, I feel bad now. But it is, for me, one of the finds of the Christmas season. I love this. I think it does what it says on the tin.
It's, that is very different, I have to say.
I'm a little bit confused about these advent calendars because traditionally they're for kids, right? And they were sweets and you'd have a chocolate every morning.
Yeah.
What, you have this? Is this breakfast?
No, it is in my house.
Brunch. Yeah. Brunch.
I like that. That's nice. That beer is really peculiar, though, I have to say.
It tastes a bit like
That's an acquired taste, that one.
Yeah.
Right, so down the front here, we've got M&S felt stock in Advent calendar. If you want to make your own, obviously. We got this sort of thing at home. You can stick your own chocolates in there. Kids always like that. I eat them all. And this one here, which I really like, this wooden affair. You can fill it with whatever you want, customise your own doors. $9.99 from Aldi. I really like that.
That looks so lovely.
That's a really good idea, isn't
Actually, it feels like it's really made decently.
well made.
So there you go. Few advent calendar options for you. So will Melanie be facing her food heaven roast saddle and lamb with roasted vegetables, or her food hell okra stew with deep-fried okra, snotty okra? We're going to find out after Nadia Hussein shows us her super easy mac and cheese recipe.
One thing's for sure, if you have guests, you don't want to spend the whole time cooking. My recipe for macaroni cheese is a real crowd pleaser. It's also really simple to make.
The difference with this macaroni cheese is that there's no white sauce. It's all cheese.
First, put your pan on a low heat. Then add 350 grams of grated cheddar.
So I've already cooked and cooled the pasta. And that's kind of the start of every good macaroni cheese, is to have the macaroni cooked, cooled, ready. Now, my pre-boiled macaroni, I'm gonna whack that lot in there, all of it, get it all in.
I'm using 250 grams of macaroni.
So I've got a whole egg, crack the egg in, keep the heat really low.
Mix in 180 grams of cream cheese and a pinch of salt.
I mean, that's it. If you wanted to have a macaroni cheese that was just a mac and cheese, that's it. But I like the contrast of creamy, thick mac and cheese with something a little bit sharp, and that's where my piccalilli comes in. I love piccalilli.
Cut into bite-sized pieces.
Not only does the piccalilli add colour, it also adds crunch. So when you go in and have that soft mac and cheese, in between you'll get that odd crunch of those tangy vegetables. Get that straight in there. You don't need much. A little bit goes a really, really long way.
Mix in a teaspoon of onion seeds. Pour the mix into a casserole dish, making sure it's level on the top. To make the crispy topping, add 50 grams of melted butter to 100 grams of dried breadcrumbs and mix together. Sprinkle over the pasta so it's completely covered.
And all that needs is to be baked for 30 minutes so the macaroni is piping hot and the crumbs on top are lovely and crisp and golden.
Piccalilli mac and cheese, a simple but impressive lunch for your guests.
This chicken stew is such a simple thing to make, but the grapefruit adds a little bit of razzle-dazzle.
To start, mix half a teaspoon of turmeric into a kilo of chicken pieces. I like to use thighs for flavour. Fry the chicken to seal in the turmeric.
So I'm not cooking the chicken all the way through. I just want to kind of colour the outside. So that's my chicken done. And then I'm going to add a little bit of oil to the pan. You see all those lovely bits of chicken, the brown bits on the side? That's what you want. You want all of that, because that's going to add flavour.
Add 3 cloves of chopped garlic. While the garlic softens, finely dice a small onion and add to the pan.
And then I'm going to add a good pinch of salt. And you can see where the onions are quite dry. By adding the salt, it's going to release some of the moisture from the onions.
Then add another half a teaspoon of turmeric, 2 tablespoons of ground cumin, and a teaspoon of chili flakes.
So I've turned the heat down because I've got those dry spices in there and they could burn quite quickly. So I'm just turning it down and letting them kind of cook and toast gently. And in the meantime, I am going to get onto my grapefruit. And then what I want is the juice.
Stir in all the grapefruit juice and add the chicken back into the pan. Add 500 ml of hot water and 2 tablespoons of corn flour mixed with 2 tablespoons of water.
So I'm going to leave that, let that thicken, let it simmer away, and I'm going to go make my couscous. And by the time the couscous is done, the stew will be done, and supper will be ready. Then I'm going to add a few knobs of butter, just straight in. And this is going to make it lovely and just a little bit creamy. And then hot water. I like to just kind of pour in one spot and just let the couscous come up. And about, to me, I'd say about a centimetre above the top, that's it.
Cover the couscous and let it soak up the water.
Already, look, it's happening. It's easier than boiling rice.
A handful of fresh parsley brings great colour to the stew.
So my couscous is ready.
A pinch of salt to the couscous and you're good to go.
Look how fluffy that couscous is. I mean, look at that. That is a yummy plate of food. You've got that lovely spice from the turmeric and that tanginess from the grapefruit and then that lovely fresh parsley on top. I mean, that is a winning combination. You've got to give it a go.
Thanks for that, Nadia. Time to find out whether Melanie will be facing her food heaven or food hell. So it could be lamb, roast lamb, cabbage. You love cabbage, so we're going to stuff that. What else do you love? That's pretty much it. Oh, roasted parsnips, roasted vegetables.
Mint sauce.
Could be a mint sauce, all right. Fill in the gaps. So it could be that.
Getting the order in.
Really specific, but not sausages. Didn't get that memo. Or it could be okra. So nice okra, spicy okra stew with crispy okra pieces. Where do you think we've gone with this? Where the viewers voted?
Do you know what? I know the viewers are lovely.
Yeah.
So they're gonna go for the lamb.
Can you see that? Can you see that link? I'll tell you what they want. What they really, really want. 70% of people really wanted heaven.
Yes! Thank you so much.
Did you see what I did? Right, let's do this. OK, so Vivek, you're going to do the lamb.
Yeah.
So we've got the saddler lamb. So you know the whole kind of bit here. We're going to open that up. We're going to mash up a little bit of anchovy with butter, some chopped thyme. That's going to go inside that. He's then going to roll and tie that. Sear it in a pan. That's going to go into the oven for about sort of 15 minutes, depending on how you like it. It's then going to come out looking like that. Ooh, very nice. So we put that to one side. Roasted carrots. I'll talk to you about that in a minute. Let's go on with this. So here I've got some minced pork and some minced lamb, obviously. Let's get on with this. So chopped shallot, bit of garlic in a pan, and then sweat that down. And then I'm going to stir that through with some mushrooms and the chestnuts. So it's kind of like layered lasagna, really. So you got the cabbage, because you like a bit of Savoy cabbage, don't you?
I do. It's my favourite cabbage, actually. Yeah.
Of all the cabbages?
Of all the cabbages. How many cabbages are there?
Put it in an advent calendar.
But it always used to be like, when I think of cabbage, I think, it's just called white cabbage, isn't it? The white one.
Yeah.
And like when we were kids, you just had it
the one you stick in coleslaw.
To death, didn't you?
Yeah.
But then you get your Savoy. It's a bit more. I feel like I've gone up in the world because now I like Savoy.
Now you were saying earlier you may take the new album on tour.
Yes, that is the plan, actually. I have tour dates April, May. We are constantly monitoring the situation because obviously it's all a little bit of an unknown at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's across Europe. But the plan will be, as soon as it's safe, to travel and to get into venues together to tour this record all over the world.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
And what sort of, I mean, of all the places, I mean, without upsetting anyone in Europe, obviously, I mean, are there any sort of destinations you're itching to get back to?
You know, I just love playing anywhere and everywhere, but I do feel very excited about getting back to places like Southeast Asia and South America and the US. There's quite a lot of territories I haven't been to for many years.
Yeah.
I've continued to work in Europe, but this album seems to have opened up the whole world. Internationally, so yeah, I'm excited.
Well, it's kind of it's a music genre that sort of transcends different countries. I mean, people like disco music; they like that sort of club music.
Yeah, I think it is. It's really having a moment, isn't it? And lots of artists are doing it really brilliantly.
Yeah.
I know there's 2 big records out this week. I'm excited about. Kylie's album's out.
Yeah,
Little
again,
Mix's
big disco
record's
tunes.
out. Yeah, so. Yeah, lots of great music out there.
We had, a while ago, we had Jessie Ware on. She's got a fantastic
I love
kind of
Jessie.
disco.
That album is
Good,
incredible.
huh?
Oh, it's my
Really
fave,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the joys of doing this show. Is actually you get sort of get to listen to all this new stuff that's coming out. Otherwise, you just it sort of often bypass you. Speaking of which, while I'm doing this, I'm just sautéing off the shots of garlic, the mushrooms and the chestnut. That will take hopefully about 30 seconds while we listen to one of your new tracks, Who I Am. Let's have a listen.
It's a bit like being at home, isn't it?
Kitchen disco.
In the kitchen.
It's a kitchen disco.
Kitchen disco.
This was the first single from the album, and this one it's a great introduction to it all, really. It's about self-acceptance, being comfortable in your own skin, and I did a really fun video where it was like a museum of me, which was a little bit surreal.
I saw it.
Yeah, all these different moments in my career.
Yeah.
And
amazing.
Still going? Yeah, no, it was lovely. It was quite weird to shoot, but it kind of allowed me to make peace with different.
Was it quite
times in my
cathartic?
life. It really was, and it kind of made the song have even more meaning, weirdly.
Yeah.
So,
because there was lots of images in that video, but you go, oh, I remember that stage, because there were very different stages to your career, weren't there?
Yeah, it's been a while, yeah.
Was it very difficult? I mean, you're kind of living your life, your most kind of vulnerable part of your life, I suppose, when you're that age, in the public eye. I mean, is there however successful, there must have been a side where you thought, do you know what, this is tough.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I did suffer. I found it hard. I think you grow up with all these dreams and aspirations, and you think about all the wonderful things that come along with it, but everything has a downside, you know? So I think as a young person, it's quite hard to navigate. I think even more now with social media, and there's very little privacy, I think, for people in the public eye.
But there's no let-up, is there?
No.
You know, I mean, it's hard to remember a time when there weren't mobile phones and things like that, where you did have sort of downtime.
Yeah.
But now it must be even worse.
Yeah, it's constant, yeah. But, you know, I think everything changes in life, doesn't it? And you have to embrace it, and I think there are so many good things. I mean, thank goodness for technology this year. You know, it's kept us all connected, hasn't it?
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we always sort of looking at the dark side of social media and things like that. But no, it's absolutely kept everyone together, hasn't it?
That's what I love about you. You're always so down to earth and positive about everything, which is great.
Like me.
I try. I try.
I think you need to learn, take a lead.
But I think this year as well, I think especially, you know, being a mum, for the kids, it's been so hard, especially when they were off school, to keep them positive, because it's so, you know, it's been a scary year for everyone, hasn't it? So many things are so unknown and, you know, what the future holds. So we really have to draw upon the positives. Yeah.
It's what ukulele.
Okay with that? You know, is that ready to go into the oven?
That's beautiful. So yeah, seal it off, nice colour, and then that goes in. That's quite a thick piece, so that'll go in for about sort of, I'd say, upwards of 20 minutes. Right. So if you put that in, Vivek, that's great. Thank you very much.
Melanie, can I ask a DJ question?
You can.
Well, and I've always wondered, how on earth do you know what to play next? Because the responsibility is massive. The entire mood of the room depends on you.
I'm going to reveal a secret now. I always pre-prepare my set list. I think most DJs do that now because, you know, the technology is amazing. But I think, you know, a more accomplished DJ, I'm quite new to it. I think, obviously, a much more experienced DJ, if there's a certain thing that's not really working in the room, or they read the room and they'll maybe change songs in and out. Yeah.
Love it.
Like a great wedding DJ.
But you know what I do? I just play songs that I like. I'm very selfish when I DJ. I just think, my decks, I can do what I want.
Do right.
Right, so this is the little cabbage, stuffed cabbage is on it. So layers of blanched cabbage leaves. We've got the filling, which is shredded cabbage, and the meat and the chestnuts. I've got some stock, which you kind of dribble in here, let it absorb, and then that's it. Or dribble it all over the board. If you've got more time, it's very easy. Right, so then you stick that in the oven. Hang on. Stick that in the oven for about, I don't know, about an hour, something like that, on a low temperature. And then you'll know, because it sort of comes away from the side. It's another form of sausage. I've just realised.
More sausage.
I think sausage sausage sales are going to shoot through the roof after this morning.
Not. Right.
Sausage King Matt Tebbutt.
Okay.
Sausage King.
Okay, so I'm going to just slice this up. Obviously, really important to let the lamb rest. Let's get it all out, actually. Let the lamb rest for a good sort of 15 minutes or so. Right. So, is there a story behind the one blue hand, by the way?
Yes,
blue nails?
there is. So today is World Diabetes Day.
Oh, OK.
My brother's type 1, actually, so I'm a supporter of the charity, and we're nailing it. So this is the blue nails, and the reason it's one hand is because, and I know lots of people out there will identify with this, I can only do my left hand.
What? Is that
I can only do my left hand, yeah. I couldn't do the...
Oh, I thought that was part of the,
no.
part of the thing.
I should have pretended it was like some fashion statement, but no, it's just my inability to paint nails. But yes, Diabetes UK, World Diabetes Day today.
Right, OK, so there's the lamb. I hope you like it pink. Do you?
Yes, I do.
Good.
I do, yeah.
Okay, winning,
And here's some of the
winning at that.
sauce. So blanch the mint leaves, cooled it down, chopped it, some red wine vinegar, some salt and some sugar in there.
Oh.
Roasted veg.
Roasted veg.
OK.
There you go.
I'm so pleased I got my heaven.
Well, there's a lot of fans out there. Very high vote as well, 70%, I have to say. Right, bit of that. Tell you what, just give us a little bit of oil, a bit of olive oil, just to split that vinegar. Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm kind of missing the old pub Sunday lunches.
Oh, tell me about
yes.
Oh, looking forward to getting back to that.
I know.
So yeah, this is my little
really
version
a
of
good
that
pub.
today.
Right.
Look at that. Wowzers.
OK, give that a try. The mint is pretty punchy.
Yeah, right.
Pokey, punchy. Right, what do we got? Ollie?
We have Agricola Fusta, organic Dardell red wine from Catalonia. And it's an amazing wine, $8.99 from Majestic. It's predominantly Grenache, but it's really, really silky with a little bit of spicy Syrah in there. And it's from a place called Terra Alta. And it's a highland, lots of mountains, so the mountain breeze, the sea breeze create real finesse to the wine. Gorgeous with lamb, and an absolute steal for under a tenner.
That's very nice. It's very smooth. Actually.
Really silky. That's those sea breezes and the mountain breezes meeting up. The high altitude, about 350 metres. And I think, you know, an organic wine as well, it's going to have lots of nice vibrancy to it. I think Pepe, who makes it, has done a sterling job here. Family run, happy to recommend it.
Lovely. Nice one, Ollie. Always open the
Really
number.
good.
How is that, Mel?
Got one complaint.
Oh, yeah?
Where's the roasties?
You've been such an easy guest.
Will you welcome me back?
That's all for us today on Saturday Kitchen Live. Thanks to Vivek, Ching, Ollie, and of course Melanie. All the recipes from the studio are on the website bbc.co.uk/Saturday Kitchen. I'm back with more Best Bites tomorrow at 10 a.m. on BBC Two. And next week we're back in live with Ollie Deboo, Asma Khan, and Omid Jalili. Have a great weekend. Bye for now.